Pre-council to order. Always good to see everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a motion we approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. This is 2 weeks in a row with no department comments. Yeah, sure you don't have anything to
I said we
say?
can call on some people. There's a lot of people
I
who
mean,
like
look
to
at that
talk.
group
Mike
right
Gardner,
there.
don't you have anything to do? Come on.
There was,
We just brought Chief Langley out of timeout.
Exactly. He did really well while you were gone. He did.
I think there was only one council member he made, for Chief Rice, that's a very good thing.
he could actually be a comedian.
No, he did pretty good stuff.
We had some fun internally, and let me assure you, we had some fun internally. I don't have anything substantive or significant to talk about.
And no executive,
No, sir.
no executive sessions here?
One executive session, should be brief.
Okay, good. Randy,
All right. So, no action today, just a couple of quick reminders for you guys. As you know, we are getting ready for the ad valorem school tax election for the city schools.
okay.
That is going to be September 24th, 2024. Polls will open at 7 and close at 7, or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But we have actually started absentee voting today. So absentee voting will take place in my office Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 8 a to 4:30 p. But we are also still looking for poll workers to actually work the actual election day on the 24th. If you need more information, you can go to elections.tuscaloosa.com, or of course you could give our office a call or send us an email.
Like our municipal, do they have to live in the district?
No, so for this one, they just have to be at least 18 years old. They have to be a registered voter for Tuscaloosa County. They do have to be able to attend the training on the 19th, and then they do not have to be a resident in the district in which they wish to serve. So for example, if you live out in Fosters or Vance or wherever out in the county, as long as you're a registered voter, you can work anywhere at any of the polling
county
locations.
residents can do it.
Yes, sir, as long as they're registered to vote. They won't be actually allowed to vote, but they can still work the polls.
I'm not so sure about those county folks.
Yes, sir.
What's the significance of today?
I said it.
So state law
Is it-
requires it to be 6 weeks out. So
6
today is
weeks
exactly 6 weeks out. Yes, sir.
And A and P?
So it'll.
Y'all buy that, y'all.
AM and PM.
Bars and M's.
AM.
8 a.m.
Oh, you gonna buy
to
him?
4:30.
0800.
Yeah, give him so we can understand.
Yes.
Good call.
Some military time.
That's all I
Okay,
got.
that's all you have?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Richard, Dr. Rush, you have someone to introduce us to today?
What's up, Ray?
So this is, we have hired a new Deputy Director of Communication, and this is Doug Killo. So he comes to us from McAfee Construction, where he headed up the communication there, and has a wealth of knowledge and experience from working in multiple agencies up north in New York and other businesses around here. So just want to introduce him.
Doug, was your grandfather my principal?
Yes, sir.
Grandfather or father?
Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your grandfather's whipped more than one.
Not mine. He was my high school principal, and I truly loved Doug Killo. He was just the best.
Me too.
Yes.
Welcome board.
Welcome, Bill.
Actually, he did well, but I was scared.
Yeah, that's what they need in the schools today, somebody scared of them. Mr. Holmes.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
I am about midway down on page 2. Actually, I am not, I'm sorry. I was expecting Mr. Collins to get up and do these, but I guess he didn't. I'm actually on the front of your short agenda here. We're under unfinished business on page 5 and 6. You'll be introducing amendments 1529, rezoning of approximately 7.17 acres located at 5851 31st Street from R2 to ML. Griffin Brothers Investments LLC. This comes from the Planning Commission on July the 15th. And in conjunction with that, on page 7, you'll be setting September the 10th, 2024 as the day for public hearing to consider that zoning amendment. Now we can skip over to about midway up page 2, where on page 18, you'll be authorizing a professional study and consult services agreement with Red Mountain Engineering LLC for a feasibility study of Cribbs Mill Creek Tributary Number 6. This is a total not to exceed $43,325. It came to you in projects on the 6th. On page 19, you'll be authorizing amendment number 1 to the professional study and consult services agreement with McGiffert Associates LLC for the Academy Drive Drainage Project. This is a total of $93,625. Also came to you in projects on the 6th. On page 20, you'll be authorizing selection of and contract with Duncan Coker Associates PC for professional engineering services for the Western University Boulevard Corridor Improvements Project. This is a total of $867,260, and again came to you on projects last week. On page 21, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Dogan Metal. That's a total of $88,000 and came to you in projects last week. On page 22, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Snow Blakeney Construction. This is a total of $59,719.80, and again came to you in projects last week. On page 23, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with PCI Technologies, total $8,744. Again, that came to you in projects. On page 24 and 25, you'll be tentatively awarding a public works contract to Emerson and Associates for the Burrell Odom Park Improvements Project. That's a total of $2,726.97. Again, this was in projects on last week. On page 26, you'll be authorizing a disbursement from District 6 improvement funds for Woodland Forest Elementary School Leaders Program. This is a total of $2,272. That is doubled up for Mr. Fail based upon me losing it in some text messages, and will be presented today in Finance Committee. On page 27, you'll be authorizing the retainage of the firm Kaplan Kirsch LLP for professional services to provide consulting services for the Tuscaloosa National Airport. This is a total not to exceed $25,000, and it was presented to you in properties last week. On page 28, you'll be authorizing the execution of a contract agreement with Metro Animal Shelter, Inc. for animal shelter services. This came to you in Finance Committee last week. Mr. Busby, I texted you earlier that the representative from the animal shelter is unable to make it today or next week. We do believe they can be here in 2 weeks. My understanding is the county has not authorized their end yet, so I don't know if there is a particular rush on ours if the council's interested in tabling this until you can do the presentation from her. On page 29, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a grant agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration and Alabama Department of Transportation for the airfield lighting vault replacement project. This is a total of $164,270 and came to you in projects last week. On page 30, you'll be authorizing a grant amendment with AlDOT for the runway 1230 crack seal and coat project. This came to you in projects last week. On page 31, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute an assignment and assumption of agreement regarding the economic development agreement with Bama Hotel Partners LLC. That is doubled up, and you will hear more about it in finance today. On page 32, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute an easement with Alabama Power Company regarding the Jack Warner Parkway Pedestrian Bridge Project. This was presented to you in projects. On page 33, you'll be authorizing a lease agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation regarding public parking within the right-of-way limits of the Hugh Thomas Bridge. This came to you in projects last week. On page 34, you'll be authorizing the mayor to enter into a temporary hangar lease with Sanders Flight Training Center. This came to you in properties last week. On page 35 and 36, you'll be repealing prior resolutions establishing a public art and public art guidelines, and you'll be establishing a public art advisory committee. And this came out of admin on last week. On page 37, you'll be authorizing amendment number 21 to the fiscal year 2024 general fund budget, and this was presented to you in finance last week. Are there any questions for me?
Any questions for Scott? Thanks, sir. If the council, I would really appreciate if y'all would do me a favor. If I send you some dates, the county commission and the council would like to did I say Stan Akron and I would like to do something together at the animal shelter. I think it would be truly 1 hour well worth your time if you would do, and Mayor, you certainly could, to do a walkthrough of the shelter, because we talk about, there are a lot of things that are coming up that it's just, unless you see it and smell it, you just don't.
I'm gonna believe.
Okay.
I support you.
Okay, but it's,
Believe us.
but unless you've been down there and seen what has been done and
Go
what,
take a field trip.
and what needs to be done,
Yeah.
and I think it would be probably the first time these two bodies have ever done anything like that together. Jamie Dyke said she was gonna try to get the North Fork folks to come through too, but I think, because we've got a crucial next 3 years, don't you think, Mayor, maybe? And really significantly needing to do something in a really bad way at the shelter. The cracking in the concrete, for example, and all the urine's going right down to the concrete. And so there's no way to fix that. You got to replace all of it. But I think it would be something really, really good if we could all do that as a council. And then Stan feels like he can get most everybody from the county commission to come too. And Jamie said she would if the others wouldn't, but
We have a date.
I would love to try to do it before we start football season, and I'm looking at, because high school football and everybody's gonna get so crazy, but maybe it's like a Thursday afternoon.
Sure.
Would that work good for everybody?
Afternoon is better for me.
So I'll have Vicky send out something to you all, like maybe next Thursday afternoon at 2, 3, what's,
Yeah.
3?
Rock Wild.
I would really appreciate that, and I think it'd really show, I think it just really make us look really good, I think, too, as a council, that we're actually going down there, not just funding them, but actually seeing the needs firsthand. And it's not that bad right now, because there's not many animals because of the distemper outbreak thing, which is not contagious to humans. Okay,
Hopefully we won't get him in.
That's good to know.
so they say.
That's what the media would have you
My
believe.
God.
Yeah.
So we're gonna mask up. I'm like,
You can wear a mask. I would sure appreciate that, and that would put a little pressure on them saying that y'all have committed to, because the county needs to, so we did the funding, changing of all the funding percentages. I think that's worked out really, really well. So because we were paying by far the most, and now we're just about even with the county. When we were like 50-something%, they were like 40.
Okay.
So it's evened out, as it should. All right, thank you. Okay, we've got all of our projects, finance, public safety, and historic preservation meets on Wednesday. Thursday, personnel board, council chambers,
Properties doesn't meet today, does it?
no, sir.
Wrong slide.
as last week.
Yeah.
Right.
The slide is-
Public safety.
Yeah, properties doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, public safety. Okay, is there a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Motion second, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that this executive session is to discuss with their attorney the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated, or imminently likely to be litigated if the governmental body pursues a proposed course of action.
Okay, we have motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any